And for some sports stories, Rangers International of Enugu this evening kicked off their CAF Confederation Cup group phase campaign on a losing note. The Flying Antelopes suffered a 3-1 home defeat against Egyptian club Pyramids FC in Group A opening clash at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, Enugu. Rangers played the entire second half with a man down after skipper Tokwe Olushesi was sent off late in the first half. The Flying Antelopes took the lead in the 28th minute through Ibrahim Olawoyi. The visitors, however, rallied back with 3 goals in the second half. Rangers will face another Egyptian club, Al Masry, in their next game on Sunday. And to the English Premier League, Kelechi Iheanacho's late VAR-awarded winner has piled more misery on Marco Silva's Leicester reclaimed second spot in the league with a dramatic 2-1 victory over Everton at the King Power Stadium. Substitute Iheanacho broke Everton hearts in the 5th minute of stoppage time when he was allowed to strike through and slot his first EPL goal of the season past Jordan Pickford, despite being flagged for offside initially. Manchester United drew 2-2 with Aston Villa at Old Trafford as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side were held by a newly promoted side for the second game in a row. Earlier, Arsenal's winless run continued with Freddie Ljungberg's first league game as boss, ending in a draw against struggling Norwich. Sheffield United made its 7 Premier League away games without defeat as they drew 1-1 with Vaud Monelieu. 6-time world champion Lewis Hamilton has wrapped up the Formula One season in style by crushing on challenge to a dominant victory in Abu Dhabi in his 250th Grand Prix. The 34-year-old Mercedes driver earlier this evening led every lap from pole position to checkered flag, banging in a fastest lap for good measure to emphasize his supremacy under the Yas Marina fraud light. Red Bull's Dutch driver Max Verstappen was runner-up 16.7 seconds behind the Briton to cement 3rd place in the championship.
Really proud to be in a period of time where there is such great young people coming through. These guys have been doing a phenomenal job, and I really feel privileged to be in the period of time where they're here, and I'm looking forward to hopefully more close battles with us in the future.
Our pace was quite decent, just Mercedes and Lewis today. They were a bit too quick, but overall, as a whole, I think it's been a positive season, and of course to be P3 in the championship is a nice ending.
And away from sports, police have identified the second victim of the London Bridge knife attack as Saskia Jones. The 23-year-old Cambridge University graduate was fatally stabbed by Usman Khan, a convicted terrorist. Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says 74 people who were jailed for terror offences and released early will have their licence conditions reviewed. The Ministry of Justice launched the urgent review after convicted terrorist Usman Khan, who had served half of his sentence, killed 2 people in a knife attack at London Bridge on Friday. An Australian academic, Timothy Weeks, who was freed by the Taliban in a prisoner swap, has been speaking about his ordeal as a hostage in Afghanistan. Mr. Weeks believes U.S. Special Forces had tried for 6 times to rescue him and an American captive, Kevin King, who was also released. Mr. Weeks and Mr. King, also an academic, were freed in exchange for 3 senior militants held by the Afghan government in a deal aimed at kickstarting peace talks.
The time that I spent as a
Timothy
hostage.
Wicks, the Australian academic released by Taliban in November after being kept hostage for more than 3 years, said that hope had helped him survive the ordeal when his life was at the mercy of his captors. Wicks and American Kevin King, who were kidnapped in August 2016 outside Kabul's American University of Afghanistan, where both of them worked, were freed by Taliban in return for the release of 3 Taliban commanders.
I struggle to find words to express just how completely this has changed me. At times I felt as if my death was imminent and that I would never return to see those that I loved again. But by the will of God, I am here. I am alive and I am safe and I am free.
The 50-year-old teacher from Wagga Wagga in New South Wales, who has returned to Australia, said that he never gave up hope.
I didn't allow myself to hope. I had hope all the time. I never, ever gave up hope. And I think in that sort of situation, that if you give up hope, there is very little left for you. So, yeah, I had hope the whole time. I knew that I would leave that place eventually. Just took a little longer than I expected.
Kidnapping has been a major problem in Afghanistan for many years. Most victims are Afghans, and many kidnappers are criminal gangs seeking ransom, but a number of foreigners have also been abducted for political end. The Taliban group said on Friday they were ready to restart peace talks with the United States, a day after President Trump's unannounced Thanksgiving Day visit.
We love them. We love them. We say happy.
And the main news again. Former Attorney General of the Federation, Mohamed Adoke, has written the Interpol in France seeking his release from the UAE, where he's been detained since November 11. Also today, Speaker of the Taraba State House of Assembly, Peter Dyer, has resigned his position, citing personal reasons. Federal government has reopened Kara Burger access to the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which has been partially closed since September. Plus, we told you British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said 74 terror prisoners who were released early will have their licence conditions reviewed. That's news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching. I'm Millicent Walker. Have a good night and a great week ahead.